these words of Torah are Le'ilun Shemat Avi Mori Yaakov Rafael ben Haron, and also Le'ilun Shemat my late brother Daniel Eliyahu ben Avi Mori. Okay, looking at Gemara Ta'anit, Tet Amad Aleph, that's 9a and folio 1 in the Art Scroll. It says, Rabbi Yochanan said, what is the meaning of that which is written in the verse, Aseh Ta'aseh, which is in Devarim, Perik Yud Daled Pasuk Kaf Bet, that's chapter 14, verse 22, in Deuteronomy, Parashat Re'eh, I believe it is. The Pasuk says, what does this mean? Aseh Ta'aseh. Now, literally, when we translate it to English, it means tithe. You shall tithe. Now, why the double expression? Hashem is telling the people to take tithes, but why does it mention this word tithe, you shall tithe? Why use the word tithe twice? It teaches, Rav Yochanan says, it teaches tithe so that you shall become wealthy. Looking at footnote number 2, this homiletic interpretation relates to the word osher, ashir, which is wealth. Ta'aser is the same root. It's understood in its original sense, you shall tithe, and the verse is understood as follows, aseh te'aseh, tithe and you shall tithe again from the extra produce that will be awarded to you. So says Mahasha. Now the converse is also true. Again, I'm still looking at footnote number 2. One who does not give tithes becomes impoverished. In the Midrash cited by Tosfot, the story is told of an individual who failed to take tithes 1 year, and the following year his land produced no more than the amount the owner used to give in tithes. Since he failed in his responsibility as a tithe giver, he was relegated to the level of a tithe receiver. Sifri derives from the double expression tithe you shall tithe, that one must take tithes not only from agricultural produce, but even from non-agricultural income. In other words, through one's financial earnings, which is most applicable today. Most of us don't run farmland, we don't run agricultural properties. So for us it's applicable in terms of the money that we earn to give tithes from it. Now, taking this a little further, carrying on, we're still on Tanit 9a, folio 1 at the top of the page. Rabbi Yochanan met the young son of Reish Lakish. Rabbi Yochanan said to him, hey boy, come over here. Or obviously I'm dramatizing this at this point. Tell me your verse. The verse you're currently studying, tell it to me, and I shall explain it to you. The boy answered him, Aseh ta'aseh, tithe you shall tithe. This is the verse the boy was learning. The boy then asked Rav Yochanan, what is signified by the double expression tithe you shall tithe? Rabbi Yochanan answered him, tithe so that you will become wealthy. The boy asked Rabbi Yochanan, from where do you know this? Where's your source? How are you arriving at this conclusion or at this answer? Rabbi Yochanan answered him, go and test it. Take tithes and see whether you will become wealthy or not. Amalei, the boy asked Rabbi Yochanan, he said to him, is it permitted to test Hashem? Is it permitted to test HaKadosh Baruch Hu? It's written, Lo tenasu et Hashem. Do not test Hashem. There's a pasuk in Devarim, chapter 6, verse 16, which says as follows, one is forbidden, or which refers to the following, one is forbidden to perform a mitzvah with the intention of seeing whether or not one will be rewarded for it. Since the primary location for receiving reward is in the world to come, one cannot anticipate reward in this world. Rabbi Yochanan answered him, thus said Rav Hoshaya, this case of separating tithes is an exception to the general prohibition against testing God. Shenema, as it says in Malachi, it says, Heviu et kol ha'maasev el bet ha'otzar. Bring all the tithes to the storehouse, so that there may be food in my house for those who serve in the temple. Of Hanuni na bazot, and test me now through this. This is a very famous pasuk from Malachi. And test me now through this. Amar Hashem Sevaot. So says Hashem, Master of Legions. Im lo eftach lachem et arubot hashamayim. If I will not open for you the windows of the sky, v'harikoti lachem bracha ad belidai, and pour out blessing to you without limit. This is, of course, the Shrekki song. Dai, 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 ad belidai. So this is where it comes from. The whole song is from this pasuk, which means test me now through the giving of tzedakah, and see if I will not open for you the windows of the sky and pour out blessing to you without limit. Since the verse in Malachi clearly sets forth a challenge to test God, to see whether reward will be forthcoming for separating tithes, Evidently, an exception is made here to the injunction against testing God. One is promised financial reward for the fulfillment of this mitzvah, regardless. Now listen to this. This is really sort of hits it home. Unbelievable. Look at Hashem's benevolence. This is regardless. One is rewarded financially for the fulfillment of the mitzvah of tzedakah, regardless of any sins or transgressions one might have committed. This is from the Hinoch in Mitzvah 424, in that section of his work. Amazing. No matter what shortcomings spiritually a person has, whatever averot, as for shalom, he might have committed, or wherever he is deficient in keeping mitzvot, or any sins he may have done. Look at this. One is promised financial reward for the fulfillment of giving tzedakah, and that's regardless, totally independent of any sins or transgressions he may have committed. This is amazing. Look at Hashem's kindness. The fact that he would reward a person financially for giving tzedakah, and that is separate to any other shortcoming he has. And this is unique in the Torah, that Hashem is allowing us to test him on this mitzvah and this mitzvah alone. As one goes through life, sometimes one is faced with certain trials and tribulations, people have various difficulties, and sometimes it happens that a person may doubt, even for a brief moment. He may doubt the truth of the Torah, he may even doubt the existence of Hashem, even for a brief moment. But yet, he can test Hashem through this. And not only can he test Hashem through this and hopefully get an answer to his satisfaction, but he can become wealthy through it. Look at Hashem's kindness. Not only can one test Hashem, but one will become rewarded, or one will be rewarded financially for it. How beautiful. And how kind is Hashem, the way he runs this world, the way he has given us the Torah, and he's provided the means for us to sometimes knock on his door and say, are you real? Let's face it, we sometimes have questions. We want to know, is Hashem real? Is he really in our lives? Through this, one can test Hashem, and Be'ezrat Hashem, we should all become wealthy. Not only wealthy physically in Gashmiut and in physical assets, but we should be wealthy, especially in Torah and Mitzvot and Ma'asim Tovim. Baruch Hashem, Le'olam, Amen ve'amen.